The first U.S. credit union opened its doors more than 100 years ago. Americans were offered a real alternative to the for-profit banking system. By design, credit unions were organized around promoting thrift and protecting the financially vulnerable, including the unbanked and underbanked. Almost daily and in so many different ways, we hear or read about a new statistic reaffirming how the majority of Americans find themselves living paycheck to paycheck, or put more plainly, find themselves just getting by. At times, it's difficult to reconcile these desperate situations with stories of an improving economy or a shrinking unemployment rate. But the truth is, even in the face of all odds, Americans hang on to hope. They will endure the worst of it, and they will still strive for better days. We recognize the struggle. That's why 2 years ago, CU Solutions Group CEO Dave Adams introduced a project we were working on called Just Getting By. At the time, the project was just a collection of stories around financial struggles encountered by everyday Americans. In the year that followed, we took 19 of those stories and we stitched them together with the opinions of financial experts. The result was an 80-minute documentary that was released at our 2017 annual convention. The Just Getting By stories have now been watched more than 100,000 times. The social good campaign that it fuels has now reached over 500,000 Americans. Over time, this project has evolved and grown beyond anything we could have anticipated. We really struck a chord by tapping into a movement. Unfortunately, it's a tall order to speak to a movement. So we experimented with different ways for credit unions to plug into the campaign, but our focus groups and our pilot program revealed that a one-size-fits-all approach to integration simply wouldn't work. So we went back to the drawing board and we sought out a new path for credit unions to leverage the power of just getting by. In short, we intend to open up the creative development and campaign implementation to credit unions themselves, so that we can co-develop a variety of ways to impact people in communities around the state and the country. To support this new approach, our strategy has been twofold. First, we needed a proper funding mechanism, something apart from the considerable resources CU Solutions Group has invested getting the campaign off the ground. So we set up a 501c3, the CU Solutions Group Foundation, to manage the future development of the Just Getting By campaign. This foundation will accept contributions from any entity that wants to pledge, including credit unions and other sponsors, to help grow the campaign's impact. CUSG is proud to match contributions each year up to $50,000. Second, and more importantly, we've devised a program to work with interested credit unions and award special, no-cost projects that utilize our powerful stories in a variety of ways. These projects will ultimately form the mold of what the movement can be with a credit union's help. And that's what we intend to replicate nationally after the Michigan exclusivity period ends. There are many ways for credit unions and individuals to get involved with Just Getting By. Individuals can opt to share their own story or use the resources we put in place to find a credit union and better their financial standing. Credit unions and other organizations can choose to sponsor the campaign through financial contribution to the foundation to help us grow the impact of Just Getting By over time, or they can approach our team with an idea to leverage the Just Getting By content in their own marketing or social efforts. Just Getting By was conceived in the very same spirit as the first credit unions. We use empathy to connect with and empower the financially vulnerable. We raise awareness around the socioeconomic struggles and inequalities facing all Americans. And ultimately, we aim to connect these individuals with the financial guidance, resources, and education offered by credit unions. How this is accomplished is limited only by your team's imagination.